Morning everybody. I welcome BSc 3 students for the last topic of the syllabus, that is forest conservation. This topic is dealt in two parts. First is the wood seasoning and preservation, and the second is the conservation methods. So today I will complete the syllabus, and I ask the BSc 3 students to be ready for the test in the subsequent days. Right? So stay indoors, stay safe, stay on. I will be back. Morning everybody. I welcome you all back for a topic, that is the forest conservation. So in forest conservation I start with the wood seasoning. Wood seasoning, it is a seasoning of wood in process to stabilize the moisture content to this 7-12%. This question will come. There are four methods. First is immersion. Immersion means dipping. It involves the storage of logs in ponds full of water. The purpose of this is to prevent cracks, because if in open the woods will develop cracks, that is surface as well as sectional, like this, right? So the particularly examples are Terminalia, Diospyros. This is very important because BD is formed from these Diospyros. Teak, they develop cracks, but of them the teak will develop cracks later, not so severe, but cracks do develop. To prevent this, besides dipping in water, a paste of red earth is applied on the end surface. And the second process is the mechanical seasoning. This involves the removal of moisture under pressure in mechanical chambers. The saw sizes are stocked in the seasoning chamber for 24 hours under the given pressure, that is mechanical pressure, so the moisture in timber gets stabilized. See, these are the saw size timbers and they are arranged in this manner, alternate. This is called crypts. In order to get the moisture out of them, mechanical pressure is introduced, and because of that the pressure, it moves outside, because outside air is dry and it will move out. And this process is called mechanical seasoning, because mechanical pressure is involved here, right? And the next is the air seasoning. This method is to season the sawn timber by storage in open, and this consists of arranging the sawn size in crib, I just told you, alternating the layers in direction, leaving sufficient interspace for air circulation. The stock so formed is placed in shade, and thin layer of soil. Thin layer of soil is spread over the top layer. Storage in this fashion for months will season the sawn sizes. See, here we have these crypts. So what we will do, we, besides mechanical pressure, we also spray the sand layer on it. And sand layer being dry, it takes the moisture back, and this moisture is moving towards the lesser point, and so in this way the sawn size, they are seasoned to the moisture of 7-12%, right? This one. Now next is the clean seasoning. Timber is arranged in chambers and dried by circulating a hot air at desired temperature and humidity. And this is a modern method, consists of steam heated chambers where air is circulated by fans. See, here chambers are prepared like this. Sawn are arranged in crypts, and now the chambers are prepared like this. And these are called mechanical chambers. And here from below a steam is given, and this steam will move up. Being dry, it takes the moisture, but sometimes the demand is more, so we will put on the top of it a fan which circulate the steam. and so the moisture level is fastly removed to 7-12%, which is the best moisture level which is required for the wood seasoning, so that wood will not take water in the rainy season and don't lose water in the summers, right? So then we are coming to the second part of this is the wood preservation. Wood preservation implies the application of chemicals so that the wood can last longer. When questions come on wood preservation, the first part is, by default, it is wood seasoning, right? So most common method of wood preservation is that we have to keep wood dry, right? By application of paint, linseed oil, or some they put lime also, we call tuna. But these have a little effect because they are basically soluble in water, and as rain comes they will wash it out. So after taking wood seasoning, I am taking the wood preservation, and the first chemical is creosotes and creosote mixture. Creosote is a byproduct of steel industry and mostly used, 90% cases it is used as preservative for the treatment of posts we have in villages, poles, then mine timbers and ties. And second is the toxic organic oils. These toxic organic oils consist of chlorinated phenols, right? Example is pentachlorophenol. I given last name. The main importance and is they are insoluble in water. They are effective in wood preservation, and they have little leaching due to the rainfall, and provide immunity to the wood against decay and termite attack, right? Then we are coming to the water soluble inorganic chemicals. The water soluble inorganic chemicals are mercury chloride, zinc chloride, various arsenicals, chromates, copper compounds. Such preservatives have no objectionable odor or color and do not interfere with the application of paint also. But in colleges, like you people, when go to the summer vacations, we put linseed oil. We don't put this because some people, they have habit of just touching and licking and then turn the page. So that is why these chemicals are not favorable for the institutes like schools and colleges. So preservation, these preservatives may be introduced into by a number of ways. The first is the natural diffusion. In order to just see how this works, we put a log. I'm taking one log as example. We took a lot of logs. We put a log in a preservative solution, and this log underwent evaporation. Because of evaporation, as we know in ascent of sap, a vacuum pull is developed here, and this pull takes the preservative solution in the lumen, that is xylem, and after going it spread out in whole wood, and this provides the preservation to the wood. This is the first method, that is, I told you, diffusion. Now we are coming to the second method. Sometimes force of gravity is utilized to introduce preservative solutions in wood. In this, the application of preservative powder or paste to green lumber and diffuse in all lumen under gravity. See, here we'll put a log in preservative solution, and we put paste here. Because paste we put here, and now gravity is towards the downward, and it moves downward into the lumen, and then from lumen it move to the other parts of the wood. This is second part. This is force of gravity, right? Now the third is a very important. It is the simple and hot and cold bath process, which involves heating and cooling of wood to produce a natural vacuum within the wood cells, right? The expansion and expulsion of contained gas during heating creates a vacuum, and upon cooling, it draws the preservative solution in the lumen. See, this is very easy. First, we take a log, put this log in a hot bath. And because of hot, there is a expansion and then expulsion of gas from here. And because of the expansion and expulsion of gas, same like that when your mother will make a dal, so first whistle will come and it will remove the heavy air. So heavy air is removed and vacuum is created, like in case of pressure cooker. So when we change it into a cold bath, so by putting it in a cold bath, then it draws, because vacuum is there, it draws this preservative solution up and into the lumen, and from there it distributes into the whole wood. And this is why by alternating hot and cold, we preserve the wood, right? And the last method is the fireproofing method. The fire retardant chemicals applied either as coating, example linseed oil paints. Besides this, there are also fire retardant, boric acid, borates, sodium oxalisate, cadmium, various phosphates are incorporated into the wood, and they prevent wood from the firing. Sometimes in forest the kindling will occur. Kindling means two trees will while in air they will touch each other, and then friction, the fire will occur. But because of presence of these fire retarding chemicals, the firing process is not happen during the kindling. So this way finishes the wood preservation. I will just revise you. These are the methods. This is hot and cold method, and this is the diffusion method, and this is the gravity, and these are basically the mechanical seasoning, air seasoning, and then in mechanical chamber we put steam. It is the clean seasoning, and first is the dipping of logs in the water, and the main all work is going on to make this moisture 7-12%. So now I am coming to the last part of your syllabus, that is forest conservation. Forest conservation is first we say what is conservation. Conservation is two types: in situ, where it inside the habitats, the biosphere reserves, sanctuaries, national parks; ex situ, which are outside the habitat, like plant tissue culture, gene banks, pollen gene pools, seed pools. So forest conservation is explained in first is afforestation and reforestation. Afforestation means A, B, C we do. A start first. When the forest is first drawn, means on the vacant land, is called afforestation. And reforestation, when the forest is destructed due to fire or some other wells, and then again the trees are planted, is called reforestation. Sacred groves are the groves, basically the trees around the temples. Our ancestors did very well, and they said the trees around the temples, in those trees the god will reside. People never cut. One sacred groves are basically in Himachal, right? So where the basically surrounded by these are Devdas trees, but they are not cut till now. So this preserve the environment, right? Then is Van Mahotsav. Van Mahotsav is started by our first Agriculture Minister K.M. Munshi, 1952, and it is basically a movement in which we plant trees during rainy season. And Van Mahotsav, they provide us soil stability and clean environment, because forests are having consist of trees, and trees they sink carbon dioxide, like tree. It takes carbon dioxide and give oxygen, the respiration and photosynthesis process. So then next is the social forestry. Social forestry we studied in three: farm forestry, extension forestry, and urban forestry. Farm forestry means in our farms, like this is our farm. If we on its edges we plant trees, so these trees their roots act as a binding to the soil. They prevent soil erosion, but they also clean the atmosphere by acting as a sink to the carbon dioxide and giving the oxygen. Extension forestry means the village land, shamlet land, and roads, the planting of trees along the roads, planting of trees here along the roads, planting of trees along the side of the railway tracks. So these are called extension. Urban forestry, people for the beautification, they make parks, gardens, very good. Like in Chandigarh, we have a lot of gardens. Bougainvillea garden we have, then rose garden we have. So this is called urban forestry. They all result in the social forestry, and social forestry is basically important for these 5 F's, that is fuel, fodder, right, fun. So these are the 3 we have. So social forestry. So besides these 3, we also provide us medicines, recreation. So 5 there are benefits, in major benefits we have, right? So then last is the preservation of genetic diversity. So, after that I will take first Chipko and Epico. Chipko movement is the movement in which the people in the Chamoli district, they hug to the trees so that government can cut them first, then the tree. It is basically under the guidance of Sundarlal Bohaguna. Whereas Epico movement is under the guidance of P.N. Hegde. It is not in the north, it is in the south. Here the people hug to the teak plants, trees particularly, right? Because these forests are their livelihood and they want to preserve it. This comes to the preservation of genetic diversity. It is basically the sustainable development. Here the generation which is like our generation, we have to preserve it for the next generation. So this finishes the topic. Today our syllabus of BSc 3 is finished. So I will say just revise this topic and be prepared for the test in the subsequent days. First I will give the cultivations and then botanical names and then this one. Stay indoor, stay safe. Bye bye.